Fellas, hello. Alright, so I'm immediately assuming that you clicked on this video not for Gojo's point 2 domain expansion that's actually in the game, but to like make your own custom one in Skill Builder, which is what I'm talking about. So first off, let me give a showcase so that way you have an idea of what you're getting into. It's the actual domain, the domain forms, and then it breaks, and then they lose their arms. And this works for just about every domain. So I'm going to show you how to create this. It looks insanely clean when it's done right, and it's actually extremely easy to set up, but I found zero tutorials for it. It's just something I found out a while ago. So I am going to be walking through it step by step, from the actual like setup of the move to the extra effects, like the whole losing arm thing that you can do. That way you can add it to like your own custom point do domain expansion. So by the end of this video, you'll have your own working version. So like, there's also Infinite Void, where it forms and then it goes through this whole cutscene, and then it breaks, which looks really nice. And then I have like one for Yuta, where it randomly does one of his cursed speech moves from like Rush to like another one. You know, it gets that in there. And then yeah, that's just about it. I'm not going to show you the fifth one, and the sixth one's like a domain breaker move. So I'm going to walk through this step by step to do the extra effects of what I was doing for your own custom point do domain expansions. So by the end of this video, you should have your own working version. First of all, since Mahito's is by far the actually Infinite Void, nah, we'll just do Mahito's. Currently, this is how mine is set up. Before we get into this, you need to understand a little bit of theory. So, how do you get into a domain expansion in JJS? Obviously, you can use emotes to get into it, right? But, if you don't have emotes, the main way you would get in is either through Megumi, or you would break the domain from the outside. Now, do you notice anything when you're breaking a domain? Hopefully you do. And mainly, what it is that when you're breaking a domain in JJS, you need to, the move that you're using needs to deal debris. It needs to like have debris happen, which is why only your fourth M1 hits the domain versus the other three not hitting domain, because they don't do any sort of debris damage. So it needs to do debris damage. Now, we can actually do this with hitbox blocks. Look here. This hitbox block is placed above me, not where anyone's going to be reaching more likely than not. And it's going to hit the domain above me immediately, right before it forms, is what it's going to do. So it's going to hit the domain right as it forms. And generally, if you want the domain to last up until its opening animation, ignore the debris. I don't think it matters how much it is. I just have it as 2000 right now. I don't think it matters how much debris you have here, but the damage, as long as you have like debris, as long as you set like at least one debris, I think it'll work. But the damage itself, generally you want somewhere around 450 for domains like Self-Embodiment of Perfection and Sukuna's domain. Because that'll allow their opening cutscenes to play, and then they'll break. Because every time you hit a domain with a move that does debris, it will reduce the amount of time left on the domain. So this isn't only a tutorial for like making point 2 domain expansions, but this is a tutorial for like shortening the length of a domain expansion itself. So generally for Mahito's, you want 450, because that allows the opening cutscene to play. Then you wait a second. I'm actually going to reduce that to 0.9. You wait a second, and then you will check for anyone inside the domain, which will work, because then it'll spawn the domain, you'll hit the barrier, and then the domain will still be forming, and then you will check for anyone inside the domain. So it won't do really anything, but the branch target would go to hit, and pretty much I have here is just like it waits a moment, so it allows them to like get outside the domain, but then it'll force them to loop on idle transfiguration and reduce their HP, and it'll play like a sound, and then after the loop, the visibility will go to 0 and blood will pop out. So that creates the effect I showed you earlier, being the good old grand old domain expansion right here. Now, unfortunately, my timing's a little off, but you do see what happened, and the domain was shortened in length. So that's really all it is you have the domain, you wait a moment, you hit the top of the domain with like damage and debris, so that way you can actually shorten the length of it, and then you check for anyone inside, and then anyone inside who's hit gets this effect. That is all it is. It's really simple, but again, I've seen absolutely nobody even like mention how to do it right. Let me reduce this too. But yeah, look, domain expansion, wait, let me just delete that. Wait 1.55 seconds, hit the top of the domain for 450, check for anyone inside, do the effect. And same with Infinite Void. If you now Infinite Void's a little different, because you want to get through that opening cutscene. Otherwise, if you break it too quick, like when your camera's like doing the whole FOV thing, if you break it too quick when you're outside the domain, the effect will still persist. So you need to wait a little longer. I have the damage set as as 370, because that allows it to persist a little bit after the cutscene too. So that way you can like get some of the cool effects out of it. You can hear the da 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 da, and the fucking music. The music fades out, and it's very nice. And then you check for anyone inside, and then it does the effect. But it's pretty simple. The only one that's not really simple was Authentic Mutual Love, just because of the way I did it. So you have this, and the domain's really long, so if you want it to only last a moment, you need to have it at like somewhere 940-ish. Then you have, then you wait 2 seconds, and then you hit anyone inside, and then, I personally have it as Cursed Speech, which, then again checks for anyone inside, and then it'll randomly do one of these 3 effects. So one's like sleep, one's crush, one is, go, or like blast away, or whatever. And that's what I have mine as, which you can see, when I use it. Let's see. You heard the breaking noise. That's also something that exists. Oh my lord, you went over there, but yeah, this one fell asleep. That's also something you can notice if you pay attention to the sound. You can hear the domain being hit. Like right there. You heard that right there. But that's really all you need to do. You just shorten the length of the domain with a hitbox block above you where nobody's likely to be, and then hit it for a high amount of damage with debris on, so that way you can actually hit the domain, and it will break. And it's very, very seamless, apart from the slight hitting noise that I doubt anyone's really going to pay attention to or notice, but I just thought it would be something interesting to just kind of show off, because I think it's a really, really cool effect, and I've heard a lot of people just don't know how to really do anything related to shortening the domain's length. But I mean, hey, here's the tutorial on it. You just hit it with a hitbox block that has debris on with a high amount of damage. And boom, I mean, it'll do the funny, and it'll break, and then it'll have that happen. But yeah, I do hope you guys enjoyed. By the way, the reason I didn't show this one was because it just looks bad. What I did for the effect was I just flung them around and then it breaks, which is extremely shit. But yeah, I do hope you guys enjoyed that. I might post more tutorials depending on if I find more cool stuff. I might not even post JJS content. We'll see. Just hope you enjoyed. Bye.